their prime minister.
Humanitarian crisis to an end is through a long-term settlement. So we are supporting the US, Egyptian and Qatari efforts to secure a vital ceasefire. That ceasefire must be sustainable, and it must lead to a wider peace plan, which we're developing with our international partners. I've always said that we will recognise a Palestinian state as a contribution to a proper peace process at the moment of maximum impact for the two-state solution. With that solution now under threat, this is the moment to act. So today, as part of this process towards peace, I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
Yeah, guys. So this is big that he said that. He's saying that they need to agree to ceasefire. They need to permit free humanitarian aid. They need to halt any West Bank annexation. They are recommending a two-state solution. This is symbolic. Ray, what's your thoughts on his comments today?
I understand that he's trying to threaten them, and he's using that because that has a lot of religious sentiment to it, because basically the reason Jews feel like they're entitled to that land is because of the Bible, because of the Torah and what it says, that they were there. Then when Jesus was resurrected, they were forced from the land, and then now they've come back. So for them, the name Palestine, Israel feels like Palestine doesn't exist. So by them saying that Palestine exists, symbolically they're attacking their right to the land. So I understand where they're using it as a threatening measure to get negotiations.
Enzo, you study a lot of military things. Somebody has a question in the chat. I want you to answer the question. If you don't know, it's okay. I'll pass it along to someone else, but I know you studied this stuff. So if every time Israel agrees to a ceasefire or offers land, Hamas attacks Israel in the most brutal way, then what is Israel to do? Yet they give warnings to civilians which is very rare in war, and they provide aid to the civilians of their opponents, also rare in war.
So what is Israel to do? I'm kind of biased on this side because I don't agree with what Israel's doing whatsoever. Even if they're giving warnings or not, Israel's not abiding by that. We saw how surgical Israel could be, ironically, with Iran and what they were doing. They showed how surgical they could be. At the beginning of this war, when I was looking into it, I thought, like, listen, these are casualties of war at the end of the day. Civilians are gonna unalive. The people that are in Gaza are sympathizers to Hamas and everything like that. And then Nora, thankfully, is one who really opened my eyes to everything. I was never for Israel whatsoever. I'm going to preface that. I just didn't care. I really didn't care. I thought it was just a military operation, two conflicts fighting it out. And whoever's on their side is just sympathizers at the end of the day. Nora opened my eyes, showed me everything that I need to know about this. Israel, we know what they can do. They have our technology. They can be surgical about this to take out Hamas. They're not at the end of the day. What is going on over there? And this is the views of mine, not everybody on the panel, guys. Is absolutely terrible. They need to be sanctioned. The world needs to come together to stop this. Not just the United States, not just Britain, not just Egypt, Jordan, all the surrounding countries in the Middle East, in Africa, Europe, everywhere. Everybody needs to come in and condemn this at the end of the day, because this is terrible. I'm not okay with America being complicit and giving them the weaponry to do this. That's really all I gotta say right now.
I understand it's hard to talk about. Kamal, Israel said this is a reward for Hamas. Do you think this would be a reward for them if in September they acknowledge them as owning the land and get the two-state solution?
Man, I'm gonna be a thou wow with y'all. I ain't an expert when it comes to this subject matter, but I know them motherfuckers been fighting for centuries. Sometimes you just gotta, if you don't know what you talk about, you shouldn't say shit at all. And this is one of the
I
moments.
understand.
You feel me? I ain't gonna say something and I don't know much about it. I just know they've been fighting for a very, very long time. And when it comes to anything with kids, it's fucked up. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, Kamal, we're going to let you learn tonight and be an observer, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Kamal, for being open to learn. Roses and Lily said, Heaven, I'm going to let you respond. Well, the Iranians weren't hiding their nuclear weapons in schools and hospitals, so they were able to be surgical. As a former member of the armed service, thank you for your service. What's your thoughts on that?
There were no tunnels under the schools and in the hospitals. There was no actual evidence of tunnels or military operations in or around schools. And there hasn't been. The fact of the entire thing, regardless of how many years, generations, and what's gone on in the past 76 years, because that's how long it's been. International law, humanitarian law, we have laws of war that are meant to be followed, and those were broken in 2023 and have continuously been. And us as Americans are complicit and culpable in this because we have been supplying them with the bombs that they have been dropping. This has globally been recognized as a genocide. It is, by definition, a Holocaust, because I personally have seen many, many videos of people being burned alive. And that's what, by definition, a Holocaust is. We need to use proper language, and everyone needs to understand what the actual definitions of the words that they're using are. Because this is
Yeah.
a genocide, this is a Holocaust, and this is a forced starvation and ethnic cleansing of an area, regardless of whatever the history is. What it is right now is what it is. And we said never again. And we are watching it happen before our eyes.
Heaven, don't get into it now, but Shelley said, I can't listen to Yanks talking bollocks. Us Irish, no, Ireland has always stood with Palestine. Guys, before in the pre-show, we were all talking. Heaven is actually of Irish descent. I'm going to have Heaven get into it in the next clips as we talk about the famine, what's going on, because she said she agrees. So let's be mindful, chat. You don't know who you're talking to, but thank you, Shelley, for your thoughts. Also, guys, there was a comment that said something. Rose and Lily says, I think it's beautiful when people come together because they care for other people. I applaud you guys, but just consider the other side as well, because Israel is also a victim. Let me start by saying we at the New Party have been considerate of Israel. In fact, I was very pro-Israel. Ray can tell you, for months. For months, I was pro-Israel. As a Christian, we are taught these are the chosen people, and I'm not going to debate that tonight, to be clear. But that's what I was taught as a Christian. Also, I am of half North African descent. I am a descendant of Muhammad. Even despite that, my family denounces what has been done to Israel. My family is friends with people in the Israeli government. Moroccans have been a friend to Israel for decades. So let me be clear when I say I am unbiased in that regard. I don't believe in the conspiracies, and we're going to get to that later tonight. I don't support anti-Semitism in any way, shape, or form. Some of my closest friends are Jewish people, but I condemn what the IDF is doing. Simple, point blank. Kids is where I drew the line. Once I realized how many kids and this affected, that's where I said, I can no longer support this. This is where I draw the line. So to be clear, I am not anti-Semite. I don't condone that. And we're going to get to that as well. But the next clip we're going to play is we're going to shift gears, and I'm going to show both sides. I'm going to show a clip from Charlie Kirk, He is one, I think, the biggest what do you call it, Zionist. Me and Gray went to his event. He's a very pro-Zionist person, very pro-Israel person, and we're gonna have both sides tonight. Here's a clip of Charlie Kirk with the rabbi saying that there's no starvation. Our lying eyes are lying to us.